気持ちわかるかもじゃん。姫は酒強いの？
飲んだことないので。
シャンパン入れろ。何それ。ほらすんなよ。
My friends, today we're talking about My Dress Up Darling. This was episode number 17 and or number 5 of season 2. And My Dress Up Darling is making it kind of hard on me to talk about it just because it's so good. Like, it just can't miss. This was just another... And I hate to be like, I don't want to be glazing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to come on and like super glaze the show and be like, oh my God, XYZ or whatever, or like, it's just so good. It's like the best thing ever. And like, it can't do no wrong, you know, stuff. But like, as of right now, like season 2 has for real, like just been killing it. And I'm just like, damn, it really can't get any better. Like, here's the thing. Last week I talked all about how Marin, you know, obviously Marin's the best, but this show has really focused on Gojo, and it's done it so flawlessly and subtly that like I kind of find myself in awe. So last week I talked about how for the first time Gojo finally felt a part, right? So we had the Halloween episode, right? They're in Halloween and he's dressed up as the bunny, but at the same time he's kind of realizing that Marin's friends around her are all of their dynamic and their interests are very varied, right? She has like hot girls and hot guys, but then she also has these same folks that are like into like being emo and in like our guys into sports, and our girls like girls like, you know, like your cheerleading type. But then she also has the ones that are like into manga and like light novels and anime and people that don't necessarily quite fit the mold. And it's true now, and because of how popular a lot of these different hobbies and interests are nowadays, that it's not that we don't live in the same world we did, you know, 25 years ago anymore, to where if you're into video games or if you're into anime or if you're into manga or light novels or K-pop or K-dramas, or like if you're into some of these things that 25 years ago you would have been heavily judged on and people would have been like, oh, you're such a loser. It's not that same. We don't live in that same world anymore. So a lot of folks that would traditionally be like, you know, the popular kid or the popular guy or the popular girl, they can also have the same interest in like K-pop and manga and anime and video games, you know, and the hottest girl in school could be playing, you know, Animal Crossing and Marvel Rivals and binge watch anime and read manga at school, where 25 years ago that wasn't the case. Like it was just a very different world. Because Gojo had that moment when he was younger about like being told like, you know, you're such a loser for liking dolls, these Hina dolls. He's kind of lived in solitude, not really putting himself out there. And the Halloween episode, and then last week where he kind of like, you know, the Halloween episode, everyone's like, oh my God, you make the dolls? Like I went there when I was a kid. Like we did it on a field trip or whatever. That's so cool. Then last week, the second thing is everyone's like, oh, Gojo's the one that does Marin's cosplays. Like he's so incredibly talented. And they're like, we're counting on you, Gojo. Fitting in, right? He's fitting in. Like he's fitting in without realizing. And then now we have the third time this week of once again, like he's making Marin's, you know, stuff, but he's doing it surrounded by everybody, right? Everyone's kind of like witnessing his goatness, his greatness. So much so that like they're like, oh, Marin needs to act a certain way because she's gonna be part of the hostess club stuff. And Marin starts playing with him a little bit, you know, like, oh, hey, my princess, whatever. But then Nawa, the black and red hair girl, like the little one, she comes in and she's like, hey, my princess, you know what I mean? And she comes and plays with Gojo as well too. Interactions that would have never happened before without Marin kind of pulling Gojo into her world, right? And then that kind of leads him into being called to action for other, you know, like I forget what it was, but you know, They came and got him to do something else, you know, so he's interacting more with the kids and class and stuff. But then later on, you know, he has that moment where his grandpa was like, hey, you know, there's no I in team to accomplish stuff. You kind of need like a lot of people. You need a village kind of thing. So he asked Kensai, I think his name is, the black hair kid, because Gojo was like, oh, he's the epitome of what, you know, Gojo's thinking like what manliness is. He's like, he's the epitome of that. So he says, hey, you know, hey, like I've known like your mannerisms. It's like you're a man's man. Like, would you be willing to, you know, kind of show Marin how you move? And Kansai's like, oh my god, like this big ass dude, this big ass dude over here is saying like I'm the man. You know, he's like, so he gets all like puffy chest, like, all right, I got it, man, I got it. But you know, he doesn't realize, Gojo doesn't realize that he's making these like legitimate connections and friends. And he gassed this dude up without even realizing that he's gassing this dude up. And he does impart his knowledge into Marin and stuff, and it's going to make her a better prince and whatever else. But these connections that he's making, unintentionally in a way, are like super cool. And then that extends to where, you know, they met their friend Amane, who is the cosplayer, who's, you know, also this like very pretty dude. And, you know, he now has a friend in Amane. And then last season, there's the two sisters that cosplay as well, too. So Gojo's, like, network is increasing, and he's doing it while being him. And I think that is just so cool, and it is a good lesson for everybody out there, especially if you're younger watching my review or watching the show, is, like, stay true to who you are, and the right people will gravitate to you, right? Like, never stray away from who you are. And if being who you are dissuades or has people like not like, there's certain folks that don't F with you, then that's what's meant to be. You know, those aren't the people you want anyways, right? You want to be truly you, and you'll have folks gravitate to you or around you or through other friends or whatever. But like, being you is so uniquely important, especially when you're young, right? Because I think there's a lot of folks that really struggle to kind of be okay in their own skin. And people take a long time to really be comfortable with themselves and whatever else. Like, I remember for me on a personal level, like, I think it was age 23. Yeah, I think it was like age 23 for me, to where I was like, I no longer care. And that's pretty early, by the way, at least for my age bracket group. I just kind of woke up one day, I was like, I don't care anymore what anybody thinks about me or anything I do. And I'm going to be myself, and if that rubs people the wrong way, F it, whatever, I don't care, you know? So the earlier you can find that out, the better. And I just kind of love, it's really subtle in the show, but it's so potent and strong. So yeah, this episode was just incredible. So another incredible week of My Dress Up Darling. I absolutely love it. To me, the best show this season. Like, My Dress Up Darling season 2, season 1 is one of my favorite. Might be top 5 all time for me. Maybe top 10. You know, maybe top 5 is too crazy. But there's some anime that, you know, for me personally, on a personal level, in my top 10, I don't know exactly where they are. You know, of course, I have bangers like Code Geass and Hunter x Hunter, SAO. I don't care what anybody says. I love SAO. But in that top 10 breath are My Dress Up Darling, Horimiya, and these are shows that I've kind of watched in like the last 5 years. But My Dress Up Darling, Horimiya, Ascendance of a Bookworm, like those shows for me are like next level. So like, I am so happy that season 2 is a continuation of season 1, and it's just been so incredible. Because I've been watching, in the past couple of years, I've been watching a lot of season 2s or season 3s, and they've been major letdowns. And it's like, it sucks that like you have an incredible show and then the next season comes out and it kind of ruins the show. It's the worst feeling in the world. So yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys next week for episode 18 and or episode 6, however you guys are counting the episodes. Have a good rest of your week and weekend. I'll see you then.